we're going into round one. You're going to need a ball and join me on your hands and knees to start out. Okay, so that ball is going to go in what I like to call the armpit of your knee. And then you are going to let the belly sag, then round the back, and then find that neutral. Keeping the foot flexed, squeezing that ball, pressing the heel of the foot towards the ceiling, keeping that core nice and tight. Exhale as you lift that leg. You're going to do 10 on one side, and then we're going to switch to the other side. Make sure as you lift the leg, belly doesn't sag, back doesn't arch. As you lower the leg, make sure the back does not round at all. Okay, so I like to kind of straighten my leg out first, put the ball in that armpit of my knee, and then bring it in. It helps hold it in place. You should feel the hamstrings kick in just a little bit extra by squeezing that ball. Core is going, glutes are going. Good full lower body exercise to warm you up. Okay, from here, you are going to grab a pair of sliders. You can also use a stability ball. With the sliders, you can do a couple things. I am going to just bridge up 1 inch with my feet on the sliders and then slowly extend my legs as far as I can. Drop the butt, bring the legs back in, get that full extension working into those hamstrings. You can also try and bring the heels back in and curl those sliders back in with those hamstrings. Makes it a little bit more difficult. Very doable with a stability ball. So heels would be on the stability ball, you would bridge up, and then you're curling that stability ball in and out as you go. Okay, you're going to do 10 of them. Again, just lifting the hips enough off the ground, core engaged, getting those legs out as far as you can. Really feeling those hamstrings lengthen under control. Making sure you're not turning your toes in or out. Legs are evenly distributed with weight. Exhale as you're extending those legs. Okay, again, pulling them in with the sliders is really difficult, but much more doable with a stability ball. Okay, from here, we're going to grab a bench and a band. The band is going to be anchored low, off to the side. So if the band is off to your right side, your right leg is going to be up on the bench or chair or coffee table, whatever it is. And then I want you to think about pulling the band with a slight rotation through the core towards that front foot, making sure there's enough tension. So now I'm bringing that band over my front left foot. Right foot is on the step, and I'm just doing some split squats here. Keep the band in that rotation. Okay, no letting it come back, holding that tension throughout, staying over that front leg. And you're just lunging, knees down towards the floor, chest stays nice and tall, do not arch your back. Think about exhale, press through that front heel to stand, and then switching sides. So excuse the view of my butt, but we're gonna go to the other side now. Again, band is off to my left, so my left foot is on the step. I'm going to bring the band using my core to the right over my right leg or just outside that right knee. I always struggle to get this left foot super comfortable with these. That's where sometimes there's a specific padded Bulgarian split squat bar for you. Really helpful sometimes. My left foot just does not love these as much, but really driving through that front heel, front foot, slight hinge if you need it, but maintaining that tension on the band. Okay, grab a weight if you want it, but you can also do this body weight or with 2 weights too. I'm just showing you with 1. We're going to go into a curtsy step with a knee drive. So if the dumbbell is in my left hand, I'm going to curtsy right and knee drive right. So that curtsy lunge, your foot is coming slightly behind and slightly across that front leg. Trying very hard, if you can help it, not to touch your foot down other than in that curtsy lunge. If you need to, you can tap for balance at any point, but really trying to go from that curtsy lunge to that knee drive without any pausing. Okay, 10 and then switch. You can also play with how you hold the weight. Okay, now you can see here that I am not letting that left hip open with that curtsy lunge. And you can see I'm not stepping like insanely far back. I'm kind of keeping that leg underneath me. And exhaling to stand, pushing out of it. Again, hips and shoulders stay facing forward. Okay, they're not opening with that knee. And just driving that knee nice and high, exhaling with that. Okay, we should be feeling the glutes now. Heart rate is definitely coming up. We're really getting to this. Okay, keeping that heart rate going, take a few deep breaths. One foot is going to be on a step or a bench, and then you are going to push through that and drive your knee. So similar to the curtsy lunges, only we're coming in a step up. Okay, I have the weight on the same leg as the stepping leg. Stepping leg stays on the bench the entire time. Now, one thing that you can do is go a little bit higher with your step and then just lightly tap that back leg down. It'll help you get more control. It'll help you utilize that front foot better and really keep you from pushing off with that down foot as well. Okay, 10 and then switch. Again, same thing here. Try not to tap that free foot at any point if you can help it. Try and go from that step up to that knee drive without using that driving knee to balance you. And then you can swing the arms like you would in a running stance. Again, you can hold 2 weights, 1 weight. Just play with it and see how it feels, what's working for you in your body right now. Okay. Take a deep breath. Heart rate is still nice and high. We are going to continue to use the bench, but you can also do this with your foot like against a wall. But we're going to go into a single leg hinge now. So this back foot I'm going to put on the step. But again, you can put that back foot on a yoga block. You can put it on a wall, completely up to you. Okay. And then you're going to hinge. We're not lunging. So knee stays over your midfoot as you push your hips back behind you. Okay. Again, play with where you hold the weight, how it feels. Maybe one side needs it in the same hand. Maybe one side needs it on the opposite hand. And then as you stand, do not squeeze the glutes and push your hips so far forward, okay? You really want to make sure that you're just coming to that neutral standing position. Maybe even thinking about the back of your knee, squeezing up towards your glutes rather than trying to push your glutes forward. Okay, switching sides after 10. Again, knee stays over midfoot. Knee should keep a slight bend in it the entire time. So even as you come to standing, it should not fully straighten. Make sure you have even weight between your big toe, pinky toe, and heel. You're not gripping your toes. Everything stays nice and relaxed in your foot. Really pushing those hips back, hinging on that one side. Exhale to stand. Okay, last exercise for the day, well, for the round, but for this circuit, you're going to need a mini band. Again, you can do this without a mini band, but boy, is the burn extra good with the band. Okay, you are going to come down into a low squat with that band just above your knees, and you are stepping side to side, staying as low as you can the entire time. You want to think about 10 each, 20 total on those steps. So depending on how you're counting, maybe you have an aisle that's 10 down, 10 back. Maybe you have to just do, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and then back and forth a little bit. But really staying super, super low, get that butt down. Chest is tall. You are not arching your back. I know this one burns. Fight through. Awesome job, and then we get some rest. If you don't need the full 2-minute rest, fast forward. Okay, you know it's coming. It's round 2. Grab your ball, join me. We are on the floor, hands and knees. That ball is going in the armpit of your knee. Let the belly sag, round the back, find that neutral. Foot towards the ceiling, like you are trying to press it up with the bottom of your foot. The ceiling, that is. Okay, again, by squeezing that ball, you should feel an added element of the hamstring. Keeping that glute firing core nice and tight. Switching sides after 10. Shoulders should be directly over wrists. Hips should be directly over your knees. Now the key here is that as you're lifting that leg, you shouldn't be shifting. So my right leg is moving. My weight shouldn't shift to my left side. Weight should stay nice and balanced. Everything's super stable. Okay, then we've got our hamstring curls with the sliders. Again, we're working that length with these. With sliders, it is incredibly difficult to bring them back in, but I challenge you to work towards that, think about it, practice it, and try and get those hamstrings fired up. Otherwise, we are extending our legs as long and as low as we can. Butt should only be lifting about 1 inch off the ground. Core stays nice and tight. Okay, lower down to bring those legs back in. Now, I have my thumb on my rib cage, my fingers on my hip bone, just making sure the core is connecting, making sure the distance between my thumb and fingers doesn't change at all. Just kind of a great way to keep some feedback in the system. A check-in, if you will. Okay, because we want to make sure that that core is firing on all cylinders to help heal that diastasis, to challenge those hamstrings and the core together, because that's how our system works. We want them to work together. Okay, again, if you're doing this with a stability ball, your heels will be on the stability ball. You'll come into a full bridge, and then you'll curl that stability ball towards your butt, and then straighten your legs back out. Okay, it's a little bit easier with the stability ball. And then with the stability ball, the closer it is to your heels, the harder it is. The closer it is to your knee, the back of your knee, the easier. Okay, and then we're gonna get set up for that Bulgarian lunge with the band. Key here is that it is anchored low and that you're giving a little good rotation from the core over that front leg. Really thinking about right rib cage to left hip. A little hinge in this if you need to. If you do add the hinge, make sure it stays the same throughout. So even as you stand up, you keep that hinge, you don't straighten out. Back knee should drop lower than your foot. Ideally, you're trying to get it as close to the ground as you can so that that front leg is as close to parallel to the floor as you can. Exhale to stand, pushing through that front heel, front glute. Okay, knee should never fully extend on this one either. Switching sides, again, keeping the anchor low. Rotating, remember outside foot is the down leg. Inside foot is up on the step. Little bit of rotation and twist towards that front leg. But there should be enough tension on the band that you feel it as you rotate, that you feel like you're fighting it, you are pulling against it. Really thinking about good split squats here. Or Bulgarian lunges. Okay, we need that core to fire when we're doing these movements. A lot of times that's what checks out, so it makes our back have to do a lot of work, and we want those glutes firing on all cylinders to help us out. Okay, we got that curtsy to knee drive. Now make sure that however you hold the weight on one side, you hold the weight on the other, and then see if it feels better on one side or the other. So you might actually find that you need to hold the weight on the same side as your right leg and the opposite side of your left leg. And that's okay. That's why we do these single leg exercises. It is to help us determine a lot of things, really, but to really get that good strength on each side individually, and they may require different things. But what I recommend is just trying it out the same way at first, and then paying attention to how that feels per side, and then making a decision going forward. So maybe in each round, the first time through this video, you hold it in a different spot. And then the next time you do this workout, you come back and you now know, okay, on this side I need this, and on my right side I need the other thing. Again, this curtsy lunge is just slightly behind, slightly across, nothing crazy. Take a few deep breaths. We're going to go into that step and knee drive. Why so many knee drives? I know, I hear you. Okay, but we need that hip flexor and core strength to help us propel through walking, running, cleaning, all of that good stuff. That core to fire, we need those lower abs to connect. So as you're stepping with that right leg and driving that left knee, we are creating that cross body work that's so important, especially postpartum, to help regain some of that strength. Bonus, it's balance practice, which we are all going to need when we're 90 and above, working to live alone, be able to carry our own groceries, not fear falling. Okay, so really good for balance. Remember, you can always raise the bench and then lightly tap that free foot so you're not pushing off of it as much. Really working into that single leg. Okay, I just didn't have a bench high enough. Whew, catch your breath. You earned it. Another deep breath for me. And then we're going to go into that rear foot elevated hinge. Okay, so I know it's hard to kind of get this hinge after we've done so much lunging and bending, but knee stays over midfoot and keeps a bend as you push those hips back behind you, like you're trying to shut a door with your butt. Okay, exhale to stand. Make sure you have even weight between the base of your big toe, base of your pinky toe, and heel. Core is engaged. I also like the cue or image of Little Bo Peep's hook. Pretend Little Bo Peep's hook is your lower abs. And as you go to stand, it is hooking that pubic bone, your pelvis, and tilting it up towards your rib cage as you stand. Okay, really getting good length in the back of those legs and into those glutes with these hinges is crucial for women, for our pelvic floors, for our postpartum selves. This is such an important movement for life. So really learning to master the hinge is going to be your best friend, especially on each individual side. Okay, weight down and safely out of the way. Grab a mini band if you have it. Otherwise, you're just body weight. Now, if you are body weight, I expect your butt to be very close to the ground. If you are in the band, maybe have a little more grace. But if you're not using that band, we need resistance somewhere, so make sure you're getting super low. really trying to push out from the knees. You want to think about like the whole leg pushing out together. Don't just reach with the foot and then have your knee buckle in. Really think about driving from ankle to hip as one unit. Stay low, you're almost there, and then we get another rest. You're doing awesome. Fight through it. Chest tall, stay low, booty down. Phew, you did it. Awesome work. If you don't need the full 2-minute rest, fast forward. Third and final round. Woo! Grab your ball, join me in hands and knees. Let's get to it. I'm so excited that this is the last round. I bet you are too. Okay, again, core is nice and tight, reaching for that ceiling. Exhale as you drive that foot towards the ceiling like you are trying to raise the roof with the bottom of your foot. And then just make sure you're not hanging your head too much or looking up too much. Then switching sides after 10. Okay, so this third round, you are feeling it because I am. You need to really focus on that form, really tap into that deep core, really think about what is happening in each movement, really get the most out of it. Okay, grabbing those sliders, we've got these eccentric hamstring length. Okay, remember butt is only coming up an inch, lengthening those legs as far as you can before the hamstring cramps or feels like it's going to give out. Lower down and bring them back in. If you're doing a stability ball, you are out and in while holding that bridge. Really get that full good extension. Core stays super engaged. Exhale as you extend. Okay, and again, you can tell I am not rushing these. I'm taking my time. I'm feeling for that core, making sure the engagement is right. Because rushing them or doing them wrong is not helping anybody. Paying attention to the direction your toes are pointing, making sure your feet are straight and in a line. Awesome. Take a deep breath, and then we've got that band Bulgarian lunge. Really making sure that you get that good core activation as you do these. So again, the band is off to your right leg is up on the bench, left leg is forward. Enough tension in the band that you feel like you're fighting it. You're thinking about exhaling right ribs to left hip and keeping the band over that front left foot. Whew. You can tell it's the third round. And just keeping the shoulders slightly rotated, really sitting into that left front hip. Letting yourself be hip, knee, and big toe straight line, centered, but sitting down into it. Okay, again, even if that back foot is kind of causing some issues and creating some different pain, work with it as best you can, adjust the foot when you need to, but really trying to focus on that rotation at the band, getting that back knee nice and low below the toes, really finding that good form. Shake it out, catch your breath, curtsy, lunge with that knee drive. Again, one weight, no weight, two weights, whatever works best. Good. Trying not to tap that foot down, really working that balance. So you will be more unstable if you're letting your core go. So check in, tap on that belly, find that feedback, see what you need. Okay, but the more unstable you are, the worse your balance is going to be. I mean, the less your core is firing, the more unstable you're going to be. Okay, so check in on that. Make sure how that feels, if you're all over the place. Also thinking about where your weight is distributed on your foot. Okay, really trying to make sure it's an even balance on that foot. Core stays engaged the whole time. This will help your balance. Okay, breathing through, catch your breath a second. You guys were so close. You've got this. Really just driving through, pressing through, getting there. Focus on that form. Okay, again, working on that balance. If you're all over the place, think about the core. Make sure that weight is evenly distributed. Really driving through. Exhale as you lift that knee. Again, one weight, two weights, playing with how you hold it. Lots of options. Exhale. Drive that knee. Okay, I know we're tired in this third round, but really try and get that knee super high as you can get it, engaging that core, using that hip flexor. Rear foot elevated hinges. Again, you can do this with your back foot on the wall, on a yoga block, a stack of books, a step, a bench, whatever you have available. Just make sure that most, if not all of your weight, and when I say most, I'm thinking like 95% of your weight is on that front foot. Knee stays over midfoot, hips push back. You're not arching the back to stand. Legs should never fully straighten. Exhale as you stand, thinking about back of your knee lifting towards the butt. Using that breath. Really pushing those hips back. Feel those sit bones open and lengthen. You guys were so close to the finish line. You can do this. I have faith. Just really push through. Think about that form. Think about that Bo Peep hook. You got this. Standing nice and tall at the top without shoving those hips far forward. All right. Grab that mini band. Last exercise of the day. I know you're excited. I am. I'm feeling it. hopefully tomorrow you feel the glutes, you know you did something, but you're not totally dying. Good. Finishing nice and strong, butt down, back nice and straight. Pushing with your whole leg, not just your ankle. Really driving out against that band. If you really want to up the ante, hold that weight. Good. Okay. So again, just from the side so you can see it, butt is down, back is nice and straight. I'm not super arched. Okay, I'm staying low, almost there. Whew! Good work, guys. Awesome job. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. And I look forward to seeing you in our next workout. Have a great day, guys.